You guys right here, the top portion actually broke of my own.
What's up, everybody? I'm George. This is Malaka MotorSports, and I'm featuring today the Greek Blues Brothers, otherwise known as
STAV and Pablo.
Welcome back, guys. I know it's been a few weeks since we posted up a video. We've been promising a lot of content. As you guys know, you've been following us on Instagram. We've been posting every day the parts, the things that we've been doing, but we haven't kept up with our YouTube. So here is an update video on STAV's build. This is part 5.5. So we're going to get right into it, guys. We're going to talk about all the little goodies that you see outlined here on the floor. We got STAV's car pretty much on jack stands, unfortunately, ready to go. And we're planning on installing and explaining what's going on with STAV's build, what's delayed things, what's kept us back, what has happened, what we have broken, and we'll go into detail here shortly. But guys, this is going to be strictly STAV's 5.5 video, going over his 12-valve VR6 build and swap, and what's up with it. So without further ado, guys, let's kick it off, and I'll give you right to STAV. All right, STAV, 5.5 of your 12-valve VR6
Correct.
swap. How come we haven't posted up a video on your build in the past few weeks? What has delayed you? What has kept you? And what have you been doing, aka parts hoarding and just upgrading while you're in there? Let's go into detail on that if you don't mind.
Well, other than the fact that I've been lazy and haven't worked on my car, we broke a few parts, or they were broken when we tried to remove them.
When you said we broken parts, or you broke parts?
You broke the parts because you installed these parts originally. So actually, when we went to pull the transmission, the O1E out, we removed the bolts. The top portion, I'll show you guys right here. The top portion actually broke of my O1E. Now, some people like on 07 K-swaps don't even have this part because they cut them out. But this is not an 07 K-swap. I could have got this welded and repaired locally. Maybe it would have been strong. Maybe it wouldn't. All depends on the quality of the welder.
And we haven't had any problems with this transmission in your car.
No, making 3,700 horsepower, it hasn't broken.
So all joking aside, we haven't had any issues with the transmission. The O1E is really known as a really stout transmission. Guys have gone fast, made power on the stock trans with it.
Yeah, correct.
So
With
what's the logic now with not getting this repaired, and we have another transmission just sitting there?
Well, I will get this repaired, like just to have a spare, because there's no point in like throwing this transmission away. But now that it's 2019, these transmissions are cheap enough. I ended up getting a spare transmission from my buddy El Caddy. You know, it's completely, you know, I don't have to worry about welds cracking.
And let's just go over for some people maybe watching and don't know, what kind of transmission is that and what kind of car it came out of?
Same transmission, 6-speed O1E out of a 2000 S4, 2001
Okay.
B5. So on the shifter setup that we have here, I mean, this is completely stock from like a 2001 S4. As you see, some of my bushings are pretty worn out. There's a lot of play here. Definitely a lot of play on the other shift rod. And if you notice on the shifter bushing right there, it's still the original plastic. Not a bad setup if we're running stock power, but when we start trying to, you know, bang some gears, we might start breaking some things. It was always hard to try to find fourth in the setup because of the play in the shifter. It was kind of like you have to like jam it in.
But then on top of that too, you plan on drag racing with this car.
Correct.
And prepping it, so you would need something a little bit more competitive. So if you're not going with the stock setup, and obviously the linkages are worn, what options? What are we doing?
Well, originally before I bought the Cooler Works shifter setup, which eliminates the plastic bushing in the shift in the housing there, which is fine. It works perfectly well. But I still need to upgrade these bushings right here, and you know, there's a couple companies that do sell some products that eliminate the bushings. It's another $400 or $500 on top of the $600 on the Cooler Works shifter. I happen to get a really great deal on a shifter that I was dreaming about ever since we drove the 1,000 horsepower TTRS back in 2 years ago. We drove that car.
2
years ago. And what's the name? It's a really great shifter because it eliminates all the bushings, all mechanical.
And it's not just a shifter; it's actually a complete shifting kit. And
Shifting
which company
kit.
makes that? What are we doing?
CAE right here. Boom. So I ended up getting this shifter right here. If you notice, there's no link. I mean, the linkages is all mechanical. There's no bushing. There's no reason for me to be missing gears. It almost looks like a sequential shifter, but it's not. You know, it still works on an H pattern.
So the Cooler Works looks really close to this, but from what we're telling, this is the original OG CAE badass shifter kit. And the difference between this and the Cooler Works is that this is actually a complete, comprehensive kit that's race proven.
Correct. Yeah. Basically, it's the full system. Instead of just having the shifter, which looks cool, you have the full setup and all the bushings are eliminated, and basically updates year 2000 setup to 2019.
And I imagine the stuff that's in this bag, obviously it's not brand new, but this is the stuff that bolts onto the transmission that replaces
Correct.
all the counterweights.
But what's
and
nice
stuff.
about it, even if it's not brand new, there's no bushings to be worn or anything, so all it needs is to be adjusted.
Nice. That's really badass. And what's this metal box here on the bottom?
This goes underneath the shifter, underneath the housing, and this is what the shifter bolts to.
All right, and we'll throw up some pictures from the CAE website to show you guys what this looks like brand new, pre-installed. Obviously, we're going to do an install on the transmission here in our garage on STAV's transmission. But to get an idea, as this is just an update video, this is what it's going to look like, and we'll throw up a picture right now so you guys can see it. And this is the reason why, again, STAV's upgraded to this CAE complete shifter solution now, is because he plans on being really competitive with the car, because he plans on going drag racing, and he wants to solidify the shifting system and just make things more consistent and give him the best chance for going fast in the quarter.
Well, we're not running a stock setup anymore, so there's no reason to have a stock shifter in the car. Everything else seems to be modified. We're upgrading the driveline. This just happens to be one more component.
So you said driveline. What are we upgrading in the driveline in your car?
I mean, something that 24 valves don't need.
Oh,
DSS axles, drive shaft shop axles. So these axles are front and rear, set up. They came off another VR6 swap car, but basically they're rated for 1,000 horsepower. So
and who's the guy you bought it off from with the other VR6 swap car?
Yeah, Mark. He had a R32 swap car, I believe, R32 VR6 swap. So I even told him specifically he didn't really need them because it's a 24 valve car. Now they're going on a car that makes torque.
Well, Mark, we'll put up a picture of his car real quick, and just want to say thank you for the purchase. The axles are really, really badass.
Yeah, this is one of the great guys that you meet inside the community. Bought them, shipped them out the next day. I had them here from Canada in less than 5 days.
All right, so these axles now are going to give us the capability to hopefully
launching without breaking axles.
But now, what's attached to the axle?
The transmission.
The transmission, and then also in the back. What are we talking?
So we're not gonna say what different. So one of the other weak points in this driveline is the rear diff. A couple of people have broken them. A couple of people have shattered them with higher horsepower cars, especially launching them and when they put them on drag radials, because
especially when they start hooking and stuff.
Hooking, yeah. On street tires, not so much until they do a lot of wheel hopping. But we're actually coming up with a mounting solution for another diff and a custom drive shaft for this car, which we'll be showing you in later episodes.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be part of 6 or 7. Stav's going to
6 or 17.
But we're going to be showing you guys the complete solution we're going to be coming up with Stav's car. Our belief is if we bulletproof his driveline setup, especially since he's going for the drag racing stuff, as long as with a bulletproof rear diff, badass DSS axles, and a really solid shifting system, then all we really have to worry about is getting him a reliable 12 valve to hold up the power, and then hopefully he goes fast in the quarter.
What do you mean reliable?
Reliable, Stav, how many 12 valves do we have there?
And I have a question. Has that motor broken yet on the stand right now?
Hold on the stand?
Yes.
On the stand?
Yes.
On the stand.
Correct. Has it broken while on the stand?
No, it's a
so
new
it's
motor.
reliable. So it's reliable while on the stand.
It's reliable for Instagram. It's been getting us really nice likes.
Insta likes is what it's about. You know what I mean?
But it's essentially, we think if we can bulletproof his driveline setup and his 12 valve, then making power with the 12 is essentially easy for the most part, as long as it holds up. We think we can propel this car into the 9s, maybe even low, depending on what the wheel and tire and all that other jazz helps.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just making the car exactly reliable. And, eventually once we fix one issue, we're going to run into another issue that breaks. And the differential will be the next issue. So we're trying to bulletproof the system so that we could, recreate it in case, George ever wants to make power and put a 12 valve in his car. And, we could recreate and make his car reliable.
All right. So now that we talked about your axles, your potential rear diff upgrade, what else can we chat about to give an update on what's to come on your build? Can we talk about...
when we were putting them, one of the last videos we talked about, we didn't know which clutch we were going to put in the car. And
do we have the clutches here? Maybe we can chat about it?
Come on over. Come on. Be like Vanna White over here. And this is the setup. So on the last setup, we ran the 034 MotorSports flywheel and spec stage 5 clutch.
So which flywheel? That one?
This flywheel and this clutch. Now it held up really great under the stock block power. Correct. I mean, we beating the crap out of it. The clutch held great. The drivability is a little bit rough, being an aluminum flywheel and a 4-puck sintered iron clutch. So I'm going to be using George's old setup that he had prior to the carbon setup, the twin disc 034 MotorSports flywheel and the Tilton twin disc setup.
Now you did buy a new friction disc on it, so correct. The only thing we need to do on the actual flywheel is replace the friction disc. This one's not completely toasted, but since we have the car part, and it's going to be a pretty much fresh setup. I think
it has new discs, so we might as well make the mating surface
correct.
fresh.
Yeah, and the flywheel's in really good shape. There's no damage on it. There's no issues with it, so it makes just sense. Replace the friction surface and give you every chance to hold the power, or maybe if it ends up starts slipping at higher end, at least we got a brand new disc in there.
Yeah, at least we know we have the right setup. I mean, this might not be the final setup that we do for the clutch if the clutch does not hold, but there are some solutions that are currently in the works right now. So right now, this is the setup we're going to put. Hopefully, it holds the 3700 wheel that we're going for.
Yeah, 3700 wheel.
Yeah, 3700 wheel and 9,000 foot-pounds of torque. But this is the new setup we're going to go with.
All right, cool. And then let's just go over to recap. This is the stock block motor that you were running in the car before.
Correct.
We're cannibalizing it now, taking what we need. Obviously, we're going to be throwing the valve cover back on because it has the integrated engineering logo on there.
When we tested it, this made 40 more wheel with these stickers on it. But we're taking the oil pump and everything else out of it, putting all new timing components in the motor, but just using the timing covers and everything else.
Nice.
What were you looking at?
Well, Paul was just kind of being awkward in the back, so I just...
No, I was just chilling over here.
We appreciate it.
All right, awesome. And then now that we're pretty much taking what we need off this motor, here's your built motor. If we can go, again, I know people are watching this following the series, but let's recap for anyone just coming in on this episode. What's going on with this block? What's the plan with it? What's left to do on it? We have a lot of parts scattered out on this table.
I'll just I mean, the whole long block is assembled. We have to put all the accessories on, the oil pump and the oil pan, put it back in the car, and then start attaching all the accessories, the manifold and everything else while it's in the car.
All right, awesome. And then we're just going to finish assembling the motor, put it together, mate it to the new trans, install his new CAE shifter on it, which is going to be on either part 6 or 7. And then we'll do that install on there, and obviously with DSS axles, and then get this car together. And then to recap, we want to get Stav's car within the next week or two together, running and out of the garage. As you know, as the last episode that we put up, I worn out the clutches. The carbons need shimming on the Silver Pig. So we're going to be putting my car on jack stands, dropping the transmission, pulling the clutches, and seeing whether the carbon discs are savable, or do I need to refresh them, or maybe do I have to switch out to a completely different clutch solution, being that I love driving the car so much every day. So that's going to be that after we get done with Stav's car. But pretty much that's all we got now for yours. I mean, what else we got planned? I mean, we got Paul's ride that's coming up. His Mark 6 Jetta is going to be getting a new motor here, and we'll talk about it in a future episode why. So we're going to be doing that on the install here. We got more B5 stuff. RS3's coming back. Some huge upgrades on the RS3. Really excited on making more content for you guys and getting more stuff out. What else? What?
Painting the RS3. Remember how discs?
Oh, we're not painting the RS3. The RS3 is staying silver. Right. Everything I own is staying silver. And that's that.
I thought you wanted to go fast.
I have gone fast.
2018.
I just haven't gone fast yet with the B5 stuff, but that's our goal, guys. You know, we post pretty much everything that we do here on the channel. If we break something, we mess something up, you guys are the first ones to hear it here on YouTube, on our Instagram. If you guys look on our YouTube, I'm sorry, scratch that. If you look on our Instagram, when we were getting the RS3 together, the first debut up in shift sector, we ended up hurting the car, and we posted it there. So understand with this stuff here, especially the B5 stuff, it's always one step forward,
7 steps back.
7 or maybe 17 steps back. So there's been a little bit of a delay in us getting all the parts together, and obviously you've seen we've broken a few things and had to pick up a new transmission, and then Stav just got crazy, and then when picked up a really badass shifting setup. So things will change. I mean, as we continue to put this motor and trans together and get the motor back in the car, Stav may choose to really go above and beyond and upgrade to a 24-valve VR6. So anything could happen at this point. So, you know, it may delay, it may put...
Blasphemy.
What do you mean blasphemy? You know 24-valve VR6 or what?
Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, I saw SoCal Hero. Some of her guys got hurt from Stock B5.
All right, guys. So what are we wrapping up? Is there anything left to give an update on everyone and just kind of give...
Yes.
A baseline on what's to come.
I'm gonna make something. I want to say something that I didn't want to tell you. I want to say 7 days from now we will have this car guaranteed running. It looks like in 100 pieces.
So 7 days, like, am I post dating this video to like next month?
You can post date it from 4 days ago. 3 days from now, we're gonna get this thing running. By Tuesday, we'll have this thing started.
Well, you guys heard it from Stav first, guys. Really excited to get his car back together. We're really excited about getting more content on the channel. Thank you guys for keeping up everything, the emails, the private messages, the DMs, again, all the support. I know we don't post as much content as we can. Obviously, we're not really official YouTubers as we still work. We have careers and jobs and whatnot that we still work, so we try to squeeze in YouTube in between. But we appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate all the messages, all the meme submittals, all that stuff, guys. Really appreciate it.
Another thing we could talk about. Cleo, you talked about her when she got her ear cut. Give an update on that.
That's right. Yeah. Actually, that's a really good point.
A
Cleo.
lot of emails about that.
Yeah, that is true. And actually, she got a couple of gift baskets that were sent out randomly by subscribers. I wanted to say thank you guys. I'm sorry I don't have any pictures or anything ready, but Cleo, my blue nose pit bull, as we were at shift sector, was attacked by another dog. Luckily, we had the first aid kit from Desert Squadron.
That came in handy.
Huh?
That came in handy.
Yeah, that did come in handy, and she's good now. No stitches. We pretty much, kind of stitched her up together there at the track and ended up healing really well. She's good now.
These hands, the things that they can do with these hands.
She's back to getting fat. She's back to being lazy, and she's good. So thank you, everybody, for the concerns. She's good. As a little note, keep your dog on a leash if you're in California or pretty much anywhere. You never know. Luckily, mine was, but be careful out there as you may see other dogs that are not on leashes, and you never know what they may do no matter what the size are. So be careful. Luckily, my dog was only nipped in the ear. Had it been a couple inches lower, she may have been really, really hurt, and we may have not been able to do anything, but luckily it was a small, like 1.5 inch incision or bite mark that we were able to kind of square away at the track, and then luckily she didn't need surgery. So that's actually a great idea.
Well, I mean, she did need surgery. Stav was the surgeon.
Anyway, guys, as always, we appreciate and love all of you. We appreciate the support. And we'll be seeing you guys on official episode 5. Was it 5.5? Episode 6.
Episode 6.
So
this week.
Part 6 of Stav's build. We'll see you guys, and we'll continue on. We'll show you guys the install of all the parts that we just spoke about. We'll continue getting his car in, and then you might even see it firing up. Really excited again, and wish us the best of luck. Hopefully not. The next couple of videos we won't be pulling and rebuilding anything.
Part 19.
Part 19.
Part 19.
All right, guys. As always, I'm George.
I'm Stav.
This is Pablo.
All right, guys. We love you all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.
This is the way.
Oh, watch Mandalorian. This is the way. All right, guys. Later.
I am not one to give second chances. You only got one life, take advantage. No, I will not sit by, I demand it. You cannot stop my drive, I command it. I just wanna make it right. I always put up a fight. I will never lose my sight. I know I need you by my side.